In 2014, we were graced with Super Bowl XLVIII, which I'm pretty sure is also the average American shirt size. Although, really, it was less of a football game and more of a montage of a sad Peyton Manning. Naturally, since the game was so one-sided, people turned their attention to the commercials. After all, the Super Bowl is like the Sundance Film Festival for commercials, except with more tackling and commercials. So let's take a minute, or 10, unplug our guitars, and move closer to the screen as we dissect the advertisements of Super Bowl XLVIII. My favorite ad of the Super Bowl belongs to Kia. Lawrence Fishburne reprises his role of Morpheus from The Matrix, which is an awesome movie and it does a pretty good job at expressing the concept of choice. It's kind of ironic, though, that the ad offers the choice between the red key and the blue key, even though it only wants you to take the key that belongs to the Kia. What if they took the blue key? Could have turned into a Jaguar commercial. Jaguar brought us an ad with Ben Kingsley, Tom Hiddleston, and someone else, proclaiming that
it's good to be better.
It's a very good ad, and it does get its point across. However, the ad agency forgot one crucial thing. Jaguar is owned by Tata Motors, which is not British, but rather an Indian company. The only Indian villain I know of was in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and he was a straight-up pervert. Not exactly the kind of message you want to be sending. We now go to the most controversial ad of the Super Bowl. Coca-Cola tried to celebrate America's diversity and culture by having America the Beautiful sung in 7 languages. Rather than inspiring the country to sit around a campfire singing Kumbaya and share a Coke, it caused an avalanche of racism and xenophobia. Former Florida Congressman Allen West expressed dislike of the commercial and called it truly disturbing. Some Twitter users, whose names have been left out to spare the embarrassment, tweeted things such as, "Coca-Cola is the official soft drink of illegals crossing the border, #America is beautiful," and "Dear at Coca-Cola, America the Beautiful is sang in English. Off. #don't with us." Additionally, Glenn Beck claims that the ad was created with the intention of dividing the nation along the lines of immigration reform, but let's face it, who can take Glenn Beck seriously? Hyundai called in the Big Bang Theory guy, and it just tries way too hard to be funny. It doesn't work. Why the choice of Big Bang Theory guy? That's like using Bruce Willis and Fred Armisen to advertise safety. Oh, wait. Why? Why? What's the point? You're pairing Bruce Willis and soft piano music and a complete lack of explosions. Fred Armisen is clinging on to him like a Republican to the Bible for no apparent reason. And then Bruce Willis is telling you to hug the person next to you, which is kind of creepy. The only person next to me was my dad, who shook his head and left the room immediately. Tells you a good amount about my family life. But that wasn't even the creepiest ad at the big game. That award goes to a series of teasers announcing the return of the show 24. First, without saying what they were advertising, they show glass and things on fire while people run around and scream. At this point, I came to the conclusion that it must be Syrian Civil War, the TV series. Then, however, they show a teaser of a cloud of smoke over a skyscraper I correctly identified as being in London. I figured it was probably a video game company advertising Terrorism Simulator 2014. Finally, though, during the 4th quarter, an ad pops up encompassing elements from all the teasers that identifies itself as being for 24. So from now on, Fox, I beg you, please, make it clear what you're advertising. Kinda creepy. It does a fine job of making it clear what they're advertising, but then goes on a very long, unrelated, and explosive tangent. They asked the Mythbusters to advertise their service. What'd you expect? If you said explosions, then you're correct. Congratulations, you win nothing. What'd you think you'd win, Scarlett Johansson? Speaking of, I hate this commercial. SodaStream decided that the best way to advertise its product is with Scarlett Johansson for some reason. It doesn't get its point across as an ad. It's poorly written, unnecessarily sexed up, and Scarlett Johansson is giving the performance of a lifetime. If your lifetime was And now for something that's slightly less Audi decided that the best way to express a lack of compromise in their new A3 is by creating what is probably the least feasible, most outrageous, and most frightening dog breed ever created. Darwin would be scared out of his mind. The ad doesn't get to the point until the end, but the biggest problem I had with it was that the quote-unquote Dober Wawas were obviously computer-generated, and the CGI effects aren't all that great. Rather than coming off as lifelike, it's a little disturbing.
It's disturbing to look at it.
While we're on the topic of disturbing, we come to this. An electronic cigarette brand wanted to show off a bunch of flavors or something, and oh my god, why? Why? My eyes! I don't want to see this! No one wants to see this! My grandma was watching this with us! Come on! While we try to erase that mental image from our imaginations, T-Mobile partnered up with Tim Tebow to show you that a quarterback can do great things without a contract, like you can do with your phone. The only problem with this ad is that it assumes that Tim Tebow could play quarterback in the first place. Now, I really like this ad. Historically, Volkswagen has had one of the best marketing departments of any corporation, and they flex their marketing muscles here. It's funny, entertaining, and it gets the point across really well. German cars are reliable. And watch this. Pause the ad. Enhance. We can't do that? Oh well. That's a cameo by Ferdinand Piëch, CEO of the Volkswagen Group. Pretty cool. Want cool? Well, we're about to see cool. Radio Shack brings the hammer down with this ad, encompassing everything awesome about the 1980s. This requires close analysis. Let's break it down. There is Jason from Friday the 13th, the guy from Chips, Olympic gymnasts, some of the members of Devo, some sitcom or something, dancing raisins, the singer from Twisted Sister, that owl from that Greek movie, werewolves, Chucky the Creepy Thing, Alf, Hulk Hogan with a brief appearance by Sergeant Slaughter, and then they take off in a DeLorean, all to the sound of Working for the Weekend by Loverboy. Radio Shack crammed an entire decade of pop culture into one ad and pulled it off. Well done. Speaking of well done, Chrysler succeeds on two fronts. First, the new 200 that they are advertising is a beautiful machine. Secondly, they got Bob Dylan, who curiously is known for refusing to sell out, to do a beautifully patriotic voiceover. It's impactful. It's also 2 minutes long, so there's no way we can get through all of it. Moving on. The worst ad of the night collectively goes to the yogurt brands. Chobani tries to advertise with a bear. A bear. And then Dannon/Oikos brings the other most unnecessarily sexed up ad of the night. It hurts to watch, so we won't. I can't bear it. Get it? Because Chobani and the bear and Toyota brings in the big guns with Terry Crews and the Muppets. That's like the greatest comedy combo since Abbott and Costello or something. I'm too lazy to come up with a better simile, and we're running out of time, so that's all you're gonna get.
Are you doing all right there, fella?
They were singing vegetables and chickens.
Yeah, happens to me all the time.
And finally, we come to... Hold on a minute. That's the Lord of Satire, the great, the all-powerful Stephen Colbert. I don't need to say anything. This is awesome. This ad takes a cake. It's great. I'm done. Bye.
PBR, Jack Daniels, NASCAR, Facebook, MySpace, iPod, Bill Gates, Smith & Wesson, NRA,